Every company has a legal blind spot. It's that hidden risk that could, well, cost you everything. So today, we're going to go looking for yours. We'll explore why that annual compliance training isn't just some box you have to check, but why it might actually be the most important defense you have. All right, let's get into it.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. In the world we live in right now, could one person's mistake cost millions? And the answer is a pretty scary and very loud yes. Way too many companies are walking around completely unaware of their biggest risks until it's just too late. But here's the thing, it's almost never bad luck. It's usually a symptom of a much deeper problem.
And if you want to talk about the financial argument for this, well, it's pretty staggering. A major study actually found that cleaning up a compliance mess costs, on average, more than twice what it would have cost to just prevent it in the first place. I mean, the math is simple, right? Investing in training now is so much cheaper than paying for a huge mistake later. So where do we even start looking for these blind spots? Well, the first set of warning signs are right there, inside your own walls. Let's start the countdown of what you should be looking for. Okay, here's sign number 1. You're seeing a pattern. It's the same workplace accidents, the same kind of privacy complaints, the same rules getting broken again and again. Listen, this is not a coincidence. When a problem keeps repeating itself, it means the team was never really taught how to prevent it. That is the literal definition of a training gap. And that leads us right into sign number 2. Your biggest vulnerability is plain old human error. Just look at data breaches. A staggering 85% of them involve somebody on the inside making a mistake. It's not always some super sophisticated hacker from a movie. A lot of the time, it's just an employee making a simple, totally preventable error. That one statistic alone makes an undeniable case for better training. And for sign number 3, here's a really simple test. Imagine just walking up to a random employee and asking them about your company's data privacy policy. If what you get back is just a blank stare, that is a serious problem. Policies mean absolutely nothing if your team doesn't know they exist. And trust me, I didn't know is never a defense that works in a crisis. But look, the risks aren't just coming from inside the company. Now we've got to look at the external pressures. The changing laws and demanding partners that can turn a tiny internal gap into a massive public liability. The legal world today is basically a minefield. So sign number 4 is that the laws are always evolving. A new privacy rule gets passed, and suddenly your old policies are useless. And then there's sign number 5, scrutiny from your partners. Maybe a potential new client won't sign a deal until they've audited your compliance standards. An outdated program isn't just risky, it's a sitting duck.
Which brings us to sign number 6, the steep financial penalties. And if you want to see the price tag for getting this wrong, well, just look at this. Since 2018, authorities have issued over 1.7 billion euros in fines under just one law, the EU's GDPR. That number isn't some fluke, it's the new reality for any company that isn't taking this stuff seriously.
Now, this is sign number 7, and it is a big one. If your company has been fined or warned before, you didn't just have a bad day. You were given a critical warning. Treating that as a one-off thing instead of what it is, a symptom of a systemic failure, is basically guaranteeing it will happen again and probably a lot worse next time. Okay, now we get to what is arguably the most important piece of the puzzle. We've looked inside, we've looked outside, but the real foundation of compliance, it's your company culture. This is where the entire system either stands strong or just completely falls apart. It's really a simple truth, isn't it? You can have the best policies in the world, but they're pretty much meaningless if your leadership doesn't live and breathe them. A company's culture of compliance, or the lack of one, always starts at the very top. It sets the tone for how seriously everyone else takes it. So you have to be honest with yourself here. This brings us to sign number 8. Your leaders talk about compliance like it's just some annoying red tape that gets in the way of real work. That attitude creates sign number 9, which is a total lack of visible championship from the top. Your employees see this, and their behavior will absolutely mirror the attitude of their managers. Okay, so we've spent some time diagnosing the problems. Now let's pivot to the solution. And the good news is, you can absolutely transform compliance from this source of anxiety and liability into a genuine strategic advantage that makes your whole organization stronger. The action plan to fix this really breaks down into 3 key steps. First, you've got to diagnose the problem. You have to figure out where your specific risks are hiding. Second, modernize your training. It can't be that boring, once-a-year video nobody pays attention to. It has to be engaging and ongoing. And finally, leadership has to champion it, visibly and consistently. And really, this is how we should all be thinking about our goal. Effective training isn't just about checking a box for the lawyers. It's a powerful tool for building a better company, one that builds real trust with customers, that protects its hard-won reputation, and that creates a team that just instinctively knows how to do the right thing. And that brings us to our final question. After everything we've talked about, where does your company really stand? Is it truly protected by a strong culture of compliance? Or is it vulnerable, just one preventable employee mistake away from a major crisis? The choice to act is yours.